Bangladesh will be looking forward to this session and try and score and get rid of that 132 as quick as possible.
They are in a good position, but that was yesterday, so you don't have to look too much in the past. They need to start well here. They need to understand that this test can go in any direction. If Bangladesh lose early wickets, then Pakistan can come back into this test match. At the moment, well placed at 3 and 16 for 5. Two well-set batters. But that was, as I said earlier, that was yesterday. So they have to start all over again, and they need to ensure that they just do not lose a wicket early on. If they get their eye in, and we know what Mushfiqur Rahim and Litun Kumar Das can do with the bat, it's still a very good batting surface. So they need to realize the fact that, yes, get set one more time and just keep on batting.
Yeah, when you look at the progress and the run flow through the day yesterday for Bangladesh, they almost started off in first gear, but then come third session and they were in top gear. But they were scoring at, what, 12 runs in 12 overs. But then you come into the last session and it's just really good gradual increase.
Yeah, absolutely. And credit to Shadman, the man at the top order. He lost his partner early, didn't he? And it took a lot of courage, a lot of skill to weather the storm, the Pakistan storm. They came hard, they bowled well, didn't they, in patches. And I think he's the key man. He was the one who set the platform. And a lot of people might have criticised Bangladesh early, saying, oh, they're not batting quick enough, modern day scoring, etc. But actually, look at the end of the day, that's what matters. And they got to 300, and Pakistan Bangladesh haven't done that very often. Yeah. So a lot of credit to him, and good old-fashioned batting. Get through the new ball, and on you go.
Yeah, talking about the new ball, when the second new ball came in, Litun Das was the right man because he has opened for Bangladesh, so he knows how to tackle that. And how good was he the other day?
Well, I remember that particular over from Naseem Shah when he took him on, and he was really aggressive. Yeah, he's a class act. That's the shot that I was talking about. He smashed 18 runs in that over. That went one bounce and went out of the ground. So what does it show? It shows that he's very good on picking up the length very quickly. He's been scoring runs. He's been leading scorer for Bangladesh last year or so. And when you do get set, you don't want to lose that opportunity because, as I said earlier, this is a very good surface for batting. I'm not too sure what's going to happen later in the day, because you would want to go and play natural cricket. And a point taken from Nick is that you need to balance it out. If you look at how aggressive Litun was later in the day, but look at how well prepared was Mushfiqur Rahim, Mr. Dependable, because Bangladesh team depends on him, and he took his time. So he played that old-fashioned innings of just grinding it out and making sure he blocks one end. Really good to see. Good mix of caution with aggression.
You mentioned how the pitch is going to play and what's in store on day 4. Let's have a closer look with Basil Khan, what the pitch is like.
Yesterday we saw just 5 wickets were taken, so it still is a very good batting surface. You look at the surface, it's dry, it's not much to report in terms of deterioration. There is maybe a couple of cracks just opening up slightly, but the only thing that'll come into play is maybe the ball keeping low slightly. A lot of discussions on how the fast bowlers have bowled on this pitch. I want to talk about spinners, how they want to be effective, how they can be effective on this pitch. First example is South Shakil getting stumped. It's Mehdi Hasan just slowing it up and getting the ball to grip and turn slightly more. And then Saqib always bowls slowly, but when Saqib bowls slowly, he'll get more purchase out of the surface, which is interesting. Normally you associate in the subcontinent the ball, you start it in as a spinner, but if you bowl slower, you'll get a little more purchase. So something for the spinners to think about, and something maybe going forward in the test match with their speeds, adjusting their speeds and trying to maybe flight it up and slow it up slightly.
All right, we'll talk more about what the pitch can do with our guests, and also something very special lined up, left-handers against bowlers coming round and over the wicket, how to tackle that, all on the other side of the break. Welcome back once again to the Pitchside Studio. Time for us to head to the masterclass. Amir Sohail will tell us more how to tackle bowlers coming over and round the wicket, because quite a few wickets fell when bowlers came round and hit the stumps.
Well, we saw dismissals of 5 left-handers, 1 of Pakistan, 4 of Bangladesh. So I thought, why not pull in Pakistan's elegant, top-quality left-handed opener, because that was the problem. I got Amir Sohail alongside. Amir, we saw yesterday from first of all, round the wicket and over the wicket. Let's talk about over the wicket first. We saw 2 similar dismissals, Zakir Hassan and Saim Ayub, chasing deliveries slightly fuller pitched and wider outside the off stump. Where do you think they faltered there?
Look, Aruj, the very reason this back and across movement came into being to negate that. You know, when you're batting against somebody, if a right-handed batsman is playing against a left-arm bowler bowling over the stumps, or right-arm fast bowler bowling to a left-handed batsman over the stumps, that back and across movement becomes very important.
Right, so let's do something. You've got bat in hand. You've got a lot of aspiring cricketers and they can learn from the best. Why don't you show us what they could have done better?
The reason why I emphasize on back and across movement, it helps you to play the ball down the track rather than playing through covers with an angle bat. You know, I'll show you how to do it. When you actually moving back and across, your shoulder is pointed towards mid-on, either mid-on or in between the umpire and mid-on. That helps you to get into the line and play the ball straight rather than not moving back and across and trying to play the ball with this back lift and this foot movement. And what happens with this one is, without moving back and across, when you lift the bat, it goes inwards. And when you bring it down, open face. And you expose yourself to nick the ball towards the slips or the wicket keeper. So it's very important for batters, when they see the ball is seaming about and the bowlers are trying to angle the ball away, you have to move back and across and then get into line, play straight.
Brilliant. I think nicely summed up in terms of what they could have done and what the learnings would be. Right, let's move across to around the wicket. We saw Khurram Shahzad bowl to absolute jaffers off a length, which was a little bit off the surface, and then Mohammad Ali clean up Shadman on 93. Similar dismissals around the wicket with that angle. What do you have to say about those?
It's a similar kind of a thing. You know, you don't have to move back and across. What you need to do is, once the bowler is bowling around the stumps, when you take your setup, you know, when you're looking the bowler coming from that side, you actually close your shoulder. Your trail shoulder goes towards the wicketkeeper or maybe fine leg. What happens from there is, when you lift the ball, a bat, it goes towards leg slip. And from there, when you bring the bat down, the arc is totally different. And that will leave a gap between bat and pad. So it's highly imperative for the batters, when they are looking to face against the right-arm fast bowler bowling from around the stumps, you have to make sure in your setup, when the ball is about to be delivered, you keep your front shoulder, if not in between mid-on or the umpire, you have to keep it parallel to the umpire's position. And from there, when you lift the bat, you lift the bat towards the slips. And from there, when you bring it down, there is no gap.
Well, it couldn't have been done better. Classical left-hander Amir Sohail showing us exactly what they could have done. I hope you've enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's so amazing how to tackle different kind of bowlers, Nick. I mean, especially the thinking smart ones who are using the crease and going wide and trying to create angles against you.
Yeah, I think the biggest question for Pakistan this morning in terms of bowling, when we think about how they executed their plans, is how they're going to win the game. I mean, we're here on the end of day 3, early morning day 4, and all eyes have got to be on victories. I don't think anyone wants to see these boring draws anymore. You know, 450 plays 450 and it ends in a draw. I think one of the things we want to look at is, how can we win the game? Pakistan will be thinking, how can they take early wickets? And one of the ways they can do that is obviously to try and get those Bangladesh batsmen out very quickly this morning. But, you know, that for me would be the thinking point from both teams.
Well, I'll take it from where he's leaving. I mean, you're Bangladesh captain. Would you cover the deficit and declare?
No, I would not.
Why not?
Because of the fact that Bangladesh, if I was a captain, I would want them to bat as much as possible. You spoke about this is the World Test Championship, Nick, and points do count.
Draws don't help, though, do they?
It adds few points to your team. Yes, fine, but you don't want to take your chances when you think that you can go and win matches, and in the end you lose the match and you give away 12 points to the opposition. So I think you still a lot of cricket to be played because there are 2 days left here, and if you want to bat, because you never know, because early on first hour is important. If you lose 1 wicket, then you get bowled out. So you don't want to think about declaration. You think of I'll be telling my boys, okay, go and get set, and I want to see both Mushfiqur Rahim and Litun Kumar Das picking up 100.
I'm going to put a spanner in the works here. Bangladesh declare 50 runs behind and say, over to you, Pakistan. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's what, if you're looking for a result. I mean, it goes for any team who is playing out there. Time for us to take a short break. We'll come back and settle this matter. Don't go away. Welcome back once again to the pitchside studio. Quick look at the bowling, and yeah, it's been hard work. Not just for Pakistan bowlers, also for Bangladesh. They've been bending their backs, trying to get wickets. 2 over here for Khurram Shahzad, bowled really well. And a wicket apiece for Naseem Shah, Muhammad Ali and Saim Ayub. So when you look at Pakistan's bowling, yes, of course, when we saw the third session, especially Arthur, it seemed like they were tired legs out there.
Yeah, and don't take anything away from Bangladesh the way they batted, especially Litun Kumar Das, because he understood the fact that this pitch got better and better, especially in that over when he smashed 18 runs off Naseem Shah. But yes, that's the reason why we had already discussed before the start of a test match that whether Pakistan got it wrong in terms of team selection. Why didn't they pick up a frontline spinner? So, I mean, there will be, I mean, look at it, it's so hot and humid. We've been sitting in, it's sweltering heat. It's too hot and too humid. So you got to give a break to the, especially the seamers, because it's a long run, they're bending their back. It's hard work, really hard, especially in the sun. That's the reason why you feel that a spinner can just take the load off the shoulders of seam bowlers. It's hard work, but for frontline seamers, you got to make sure that they don't bowl longer spells. I think it's important also, maybe 4, 5, 6 overs. If somebody gets into a good rhythm, maybe give him an extra over, but not more than 4 or 5. Otherwise, you know, they'll start feeling really tired.
So, Nick, I mean, Pakistan is on the receiving end at the moment. I mean, they don't have a choice unless Bangladesh declares or not. That's irrelevant. How would you, or what would you tell your bowlers now early this morning on day 4?
Take early wickets. I think there's room for improvement. I think if we're being very honest, I think Pakistan did a good job, but I think there's room for improvement in terms of that added sharpness. Shaheen not quite at his best. I think some of the other bowlers, Khurram Shahzad, I thought was excellent, but I think for them it'll be a real practice on how well can we start here. How much pressure can we apply to Litun Das's defence? You know, we didn't see that really challenged yesterday. He was allowed to get off strike. He was allowed to score at will. So I think a really important hour, that first hour is going to be absolutely key this morning for both teams. But as I said earlier, I think neither team benefits from a draw at the end of this game. Yeah. I think that they've got to start learning how to win. And I think Pakistan need to address the fact that they haven't won a test at home in 3 years. Yeah. Why is that? So if it's because they don't have a world-class spinner, why is a world-class spinner not playing?
Yeah, there's Jason Gillespie now. There's an important name in that camp, and the chat he had last evening after the close of play with the bowlers. I mean, of course, the Australian mindset, yeah, go for the kill, and at the same time, he would be understanding how the situation is. You can't really hard grind the bowlers who've already spent like, what, 5, 6 hours under the sun.
I think a little bit more positive thinking in terms of how to pick a wickets here. I reckon the cracks that we saw yesterday has gone a little bit more bigger. So bowl on the cracks and see what the ball does.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. It's time for action on day 4 here between Pakistan and Bangladesh. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting day of Test cricket. Enjoy it.